Well, for more on this, we want to bring in right now former prosecutor and criminal defense attorney David Bruno. David, good morning.
Good morning.
You know, so many things happening yesterday, but first to the question of whether Comey broke the law. Basically, he leaked the memos. He admitted it for the first time, leaking memos, a memo to a New York law professor. Was that a breach of duties? Was that a breach of the law?
Yeah, possibly, but not because of the leak, because when it comes to leaks, it has to be the leaks of classified information. And that particular memo was not classified. The bigger issue may be under 18 U.S.C. 641, and that is the actual conversion of a government record to one's own use. So the fact that he took it and later used it for his own purposes, and he admittedly said to potentially get a special counsel, that was his own use. So that would be the statute that is most applicable here.
Can the case for obstruction of justice, David, finally be laid to rest?
Yes, I believe it can, for a number of reasons. Number one, this has to be proven corruptly. And it has to be proven, if we're talking criminal, by reasonable doubt. And first and foremost, this is a he said, and I said this a couple weeks, Lauren, when I was on, a couple weeks ago when I was on. And Donald Trump, through his lawyer, has disputed the actual words. Number two, this conversation about Flynn, let it go, only happened once, on one occasion, in the Oval Office on February 14th. And Director Comey said yesterday that he could be wrong about his impressions. So any prosecutor knows when you call a witness who says, I could be wrong about what I heard or what I believe he meant, problematic for a prosecution.
Well, let's talk about those. You know, really all this comes down to, in some sense of the word, he said. Comey said the president had cleared the room, you know, to have a private conversation with them. Is that a problem for President Trump? Again, we've talked about this. Was he naive, or was he indeed, you know, breaking the law, the president himself? Where are you standing on that?
Yeah, the fact that he clears the room, I guess, is the best argument that Director Comey and any of his supporters have. Certainly, but you can't look at that, and that's not dispositive. There are other things that you have to look at, like I said, the language used. I hope you can let this go. And the impression that Comey could be wrong about. Very important factors as well.
And now many Americans hope the president and the administration can try to move on to more pressing issues for the U.S. economy. David Bruno, thank you. Former prosecutor and criminal defense attorney David Bruno joining us right now. Hi, David, again.
Good morning.
You just heard a lot of the highlights from the testimony yesterday from Comey. Where do we go from here? What are the new potential problems for the administration?
Well, special counsel will continue his investigation, Mueller. But what we could see publicly with the Senate, again, is additional subpoenas. Because actually the most important discussion was in the Oval Office on February 14th. And what Director Comey said was he went back to FBI leadership and told these individuals about this conversation, the deputy director and chief counsel and many others. So I would expect Senator Burr and Warren to be issuing additional subpoenas to drag these people in before the Senate to ask them questions about that conversation.
You know, one of the biggest bombshells, I think, yesterday was when he said that former Attorney General Loretta Lynch asked him to call the Clinton investigation a matter. And this is after the infamous tarmac meeting between Bill Clinton and Loretta Lynch at the time. Where does this go, do you think? Loretta Lynch seems to be in some trouble here.
Yeah, and it was actually inaccurate at the time because it wasn't a matter, it was an investigation. And there really is no other motive but for political reasons to try to protect Hillary Clinton during the campaign. So is she in trouble? I don't know if she's in trouble violating a law, but certainly from a public perception, not good for Attorney General Lynch.
Trump's private attorney says they will file complaints about the Comey leak of information, but other than that, the president feels vindicated. Do you think he's vindicated here?
Well, vindicated in respect to the Russian interference, I would say yes. Because like Trump said in the letter terminating Director Comey, he was advised 3 times that he was not the subject or target of the Russian interference investigation. But from an obstruction of justice, I firmly believe it wasn't obstruction of justice, but there could be arguments, and certainly in public opinion, a lot is being talked about.
We'll leave it there. David Bruno, thank you for your time.
Have a great weekend.
All right, thank you, David. Well, coming up.